Hey guys, Mindset Mona here from helpingpsychology.com. I have an honors degree in sports psychology and over 23 years of experience as an elite level athlete in 3 different sports. And today I want to talk to you about social awareness. Now, I think social awareness is actually a really important topic that not a lot of people talk about. And I think it's important not just, as an athlete perspective, but also in the business world, with team sport, and then also in life. So let's start. So what is social awareness? Social awareness is how people make friends. It's how you connect with other people. It's how people even meet and get married because you're socially aware of, the other person and, what they like. And that's how you guys ultimately, bond because you show this caring nature for this other person. So it's being conscious of others, knowing how to read situations and people's emotions. It's being others orientated. It's about loving other people. It's about how you react with others around you. And then also how you care for others and yourself, which is so important when it comes to being socially aware. Now, why do you need to be socially aware? Like, why is this such an important topic? Firstly, it really does affect the way that we interact with people on a daily basis. It affects the way we work alongside others. And again, this could be in a sport setting, like if you're a team sports person, even individual athletes. I mean, you might be doing an individual sport, like I come from Olympic weightlifting, and it's an individual sport, but ultimately you are still working in a team setting with regards to having training partners and other people in the gym, and then also your coach. So the team that you are with is ultimately your team, and being socially aware will just help create that team cohesion. It will, help you handle conflict better. And it also, if we talk about in a business setting, it affects the way that we do business because we ultimately need to be able to read situations, and we need to also show that we care for other people, especially if, we are maybe running our own business or we are a CEO of a company. We want to make sure that we really do take into consideration what other people think, and ultimately to make our business the best that we can possibly make it. Now, why is social awareness so important? It is so important because it really is the key to truly caring for other people and having flourishing relationships. Now, that's why I also said earlier, it's the key to team cohesion. So if you are an athlete, and you are in a team sport situation, and you might be feeling that, you're not really getting along with the other teammates, and maybe things are just not going well, or the team keeps losing, and you just don't feel like there's a connection between you guys. That's a great time to go and reflect and just try and go back to the drawing board and figure out, is it coming from me? Is it coming from, the others? And ultimately, sitting your team down and then, talking about this. So even as a coach, if you see this happening, I think it's a great way to actually, get your team to open up and get your team to actually feel a part of something and feeling that, if they can share their feelings, that will also ultimately create that social awareness, because maybe as the coach, you might not even know that your athlete is going through this whole thing where he's being, maybe dealing with stuff and not wanting to open up to his team, but it's affecting the team sport. Then you can go and make such a massive difference by just getting the team to sit down and actually share and open up, about how they feel about certain situations. And ultimately that can create really amazing team cohesion, because now everyone can be on the same page and they can all understand each other. So when someone isn't intentional about becoming socially aware, relationships and friendships around you start to crumble. It's when everything basically just becomes about us and we are not others orientated. Basically, you are just very self-absorbed, and you don't pick up when you are being selfish. Like ultimately, you always think it's the other person, and yeah, you end up breaking down other people, but not actually realizing that this could be a problem with me. I could be the one that is creating this conflict, and I could be the one that's actually causing this, not being socially aware of what's going on around me, and just causing this self-doubt and causing other people to actually not like me. And like I said, ultimately, having your friendships and stuff like that fail around you. And I believe that this really does stem from insecurity and pride. And also when the person is just, really self-conscious, and they always think everyone is wrong, and they are right, they never do anything wrong, but everyone around them is always the ones saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing, and you are just like, nope, it's my way or the highway, and that's it. It also could actually stem from if you potentially didn't grow up in maybe in a relationship setting, like maybe with your family, and maybe your family wasn't really socially aware, and maybe your family was going through this and they were breaking people down, and you think this is the way a person should be. And also maybe not having a mentor, or even just a partner, someone that can crack into that feeling of being socially aware. If you haven't had this, then you will ultimately lack social awareness. And basically it's like you focus more about what bothers you about other people, and not, maybe other people are bothered by me, and they don't see how they are personally behaving and how it actually ends up affecting others. And that's why the relationship ends up failing, because you think that everyone around you is wrong and you are right ultimately. Now, how can we identify this insecurity in ourselves? Now, it all stems down to a lot of self-reflection, quiet time, sitting with yourself, really trying to understand why you are having these feelings. And journaling is a great way to self-reflect, just to kind of see where you are currently at, just realizing and thinking about, your current emotions, just the people around you, like how are your friendships going? How are your relationships going? Who are the people that you mix with? Who are your mentors? Who do you look up to? This is a great way to identify this insecurity ultimately in ourselves, and asking others who we trust and who will be brutally honest but not break us down. Because when we ask people who we can trust and say to them, am I being a good teammate? Am I being a good friend? Am I being a good partner? That they will be able to tell you honestly without getting nasty about it and without breaking you down. And again, I believe this is so important also in like a sporting setting, because if you are in a team sport like cricket or rugby or hockey or soccer, whatever it might be, you might not realize that you are the person in the wrong. But having everyone sit down and maybe just talking about, how can I be better as a teammate? This already can help you identify that maybe you can be better with being socially aware. And, ultimately asking more questions and talking less is so important, because often you'll find that the person who is not socially aware or lacks social awareness is often the one who just likes talking about themselves 24/7, but they will never show the caring side of things, that, they care about their teammates or their business partners or even their staff or employees. And that is the thing that is so important when it comes to social awareness and in creating that trust in that environment. So guys, in conclusion here, being socially aware can be a great way to bring emotions down in conflict situations, because, at the end of the day, a lot of times when we lack social awareness, we tend to think, again, everyone is wrong, and this tend to not help conflict situations, because at the end of the day, you will just continue to believe that everyone is wrong and you are right, and that's not the way to solve conflict ultimately. So you need to go and do a lot of self-reflection, work on yourself. It is something that can improve. It takes work. It takes, you being aware. It takes you, talking to people around you, even a professional, just trying to get help. And just, the biggest thing is just doing the self-work, because by working on yourself, I believe that a person has to do that constantly anyways. You can never not work on yourself. You have to continue working on yourself to become a better person ultimately. And being socially aware can bring out confidence in other people, which will then also bring out confidence in yourself, because when you show that you care for other people and you ask them questions and you genuinely show interest in them, you actually do bring out a lot of confidence in them. And by bringing out this confidence in them, and, it will show that they have confidence in you as a person, and then you will end up feeling better. So there's a lot of good that can come from actually just being socially aware. Now, this is a great way to just, again, ask more questions, and just talk less about yourself. Show that you care about others around you, show that you care about your teammates, and that ultimately that is the thing that really matters to you, other people. And then being able to read the social environment you are in, and then being aware of others and your surroundings to then act accordingly. Again, a great way to deal with situations in sport, team sport situations, a great way to deal with, when you're in a business setting, and then also even in life situations, with your friends and your family and your partner, or just people around you that you ultimately trust and you care about, because you don't want these relationships to fail. You don't want, your team to fall apart. You don't want your team to lose trust in you as, as maybe a team captain or maybe even as a coach. So by, just being more socially aware can really make a difference in how you work as a person, and then ultimately how others see you and perceive you as well. So guys, that brings me to then the end of my video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share this with friends, athletes, or anyone who might need to hear this. Ring that notification bell so that you can be notified when I post a new video. And thank you all for the support, and I will see you in the next one.